I saw something about this video. I thought it'd be interesting to watch. Tommy NFG when rebranding fails, Cenat.
Some say rebranding as a content creator, artist, or creative anything is a make or break in a lot of people's careers. You can have good creator rebrands, like Speed going from a kid yelling slurs in his mom's basement at 3 a.m. and doing voodoo rituals or whatever you call this. Genuinely, we gotta ask, what the f was wrong with Speed in 2021? To now becoming one of the biggest live streamers in the world and breaking generations of propaganda from the media. But then you also have creators on the opposite side of rebranding like Sneeko. Turning from a person who used to be labeled one of the most creative YouTubers on this platform for his unique style of videos, to now having to hang out with the Sinister Six of streaming and appealing to race.
Sinister Six is crazy. So then who would be Spider-Man? You know what? We don't gotta get into that. But
because that's how much his audience has got diluted. Either have a sand machine grounding your ball sack for 5 minutes, or have your sister in a room with these guys for 5 minutes. Me personally, I'm sorry for my offspring, but y'all can no longer be born. Sometimes these rebrands come naturally though, and I think those are always the best types. Just like how I mentioned Speed earlier, most of his rebranding came from him maturing from being a teenager that grew up on the internet and watching edgy creators, then actually went out in the real world and saw real people. There's a reason why the most edgiest creators on any platform, most of their audience is teenagers, because that's when you're the most on the internet and have the least life experience. There's also rebrands.
I would argue that first part of that is not true. There's a lot of adults on the internet. They just don't get called out for the bullcrap that they say because they get called kids, and they're the ones with kids. So, yeah, because you would think by some of the replies that be happening, especially on Twitter, you would think a kid said that. No, this is a 35-year-old that just put their kid to bed.
That are straight up a hard launch, and the person is saying this is exactly how they're going to be moving like. Which is usually more dangerous because you're telling the entire audience you built up that you're no longer that person they watched. And the newest rebrand we have from a big creator is none other than Cenat. I don't think we've had a hard launch rebrand from somebody as big as Cenat in a while. Not too long ago was he yelling yacht at women getting up on his stream.
So
I'm sorry, let me lock him out real quick.
Okay. I want to just say, for the example of this video, this was like 3 years ago. But 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? All right, bet. Go ahead. Yeah!
The thought of an historian in the year 2900 going back to this time and studying these type of clips always crosses my mind. And now Kai's brand new look is him launching a fashion brand and trying to become a designer himself, while also self-helping himself by trying to fix his reading struggles and working out. Off the wording itself, it doesn't sound bad at all. There's been two reactions to this, one being people who just hate to hate and basically hate on anything Kai does. If Kai does something like save a cat from a tree, they're in the comments.
Really just anything. If we're being honest, anything he does get turned into hate. That's also a power though. So the power to be able to, whatever you do, no matter how small, it makes headlines. That's a power. That's a superpower.
Comments saying some like he's worse than Hitler. Then there's a other group of people who genuinely just find his rebrand corny and don't like it. And if you see my videos, I've defended Kai from random who just hate to hate on the internet or try to find a random problem. But I've also been critical of Kai, and this rebrand was
executed terribly.
This all started back when he ended his subathon at the end of September in 2025. He hit 1 million subs, had 1 million viewers at the end. He had every celebrity in the book on it. LeBron James shaved his head on stream. We could have just left the last part. All we needed to see was the king on stream. And after his stream ended,
I don't know if that was a sneak diss or not, but what I want to say is, why does a rebrand have to be perfectly planned? You know, a rebrand just means growing, right? Like, I don't know when it became like content creators, especially the creatives, I'll say creatives have to have this such elaborate plan to just do what they've wanted to do. The truth is that how abrupt it was, you get to see who's actually there for you. If it was the most thought out and planned thing, y'all would say, people would even say that's performative. They would say it even more.
decided to take a long hiatus to spend it with his girlfriend vacationing around the world, seeing different places. Kinda awkward knowing that now, considering they just went through a pretty public breakup and she's dissing all of his friends and people around him. On this vacation, he was probably trying to think of how he would even come back and be able to top what he just did. Like, if I was in Kai's position, I'ma be honest, I wouldn't know what the to do. I broke a record that probably won't be beat in our lifetime and had LeBron James on at the same time. I gotta end off everything with that. Which is why he announced in a video on January 13th that he's officially quitting streaming. And it turns out that was actually clickbait, shocker. The whole video was an announcement for his fashion brand and showing his journey on making his clothing brand, while also announcing he's been secretly posting videos on another channel that will document his journey. This was probably the worst thing he did in his rebrand and is the thing people are making fun of the most. In the reading videos, one weird thing he does.
I know what I'm about to say is a little controversial, and also what's the word? May not be ideal, but especially because of who I'm about to say. Didn't Ye document his stuff and got clowned for it? Like, I'm confused. All the people that's clowning out, I'm telling you, when he dropped this brand, when he dropped this clothing brand, it's gonna be sold out. Watch, I'm telling you, it's gonna be sold out. The same ones. Some people are literally gonna cop to try to hate on it, and then it's gonna be a lot more that cops to support, and there's gonna be people that cops to resell it.
Is flex the phone timer after his reading time is supposed to end to show people that he's become a reading god above the average human brain input and output.
The location, creating, and implementation intention is a strategy you can use. You can use pair a new habit with a specific time and location. The implementation intention formula is I will behavior and time and location. Habit stacking is a strategy you can use. Ability of ending the emotional pain, which can.
You know what's so funny about this is that it's such a normal thing, but people are overdoing it just because of who he is. For example, if I was to read on the internet, most people wouldn't give a damn. Unless I said a word, like I just did or something like that. Said a word wrong, spelled a word wrong, something like it would just have to be something so outrageous that people just gravitate towards it and just start saying stuff because people don't care about me. The fact is that everything he does is under a microscope because of what he's done in his career and what he's done for streaming. It's crazy because he got clowned beforehand for being loud, right? Then he wasn't loud anymore, he was quiet. Then he showed he was reading and he's getting clowned for reading. But then if he was to stay illiterate, he would get clowned for staying illiterate. The even crazier thing is that people are so judgmental of people because of this, but are not judgmental of the people in their own household. You're way more judgmental about a person you've never met. I don't even think you judge yourself as much as you judge a person like God. And people won't call that glaze, but it's true. How often do people have honest conversations with themselves about what's going on in their life? But it's so easy to say that to someone you haven't met. Or someone you say you hate.
Open the door for you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 30 minutes.
Implementation intention is a strategy that you can use.
Mind you, somehow I seen this TikTok. Somehow this was a TikTok banger, and he got on this tight behind Dolce and Gabbana tee.
That you can use if you already want a 40v1.
Like, alright, man, we get it. You now have reached the same reading comprehension as Shakespeare. If he didn't put this timer bit into the reading videos, it wouldn't have received even close to the amount of hate it's getting. In the comments of all the vids, people are basically clowning him, saying he's trying too hard to be performative with it, and also are saying he's reading, but...
You know what's so funny about that? The only way it would actually be performative if he was only doing it on camera. That's what they mean by performative. He's only doing it for the camera. So him only making the clothes on camera, him only reading on camera, him only working out on camera, him only sewing on camera. But there's evidence to the contrary. Like, even he said himself, though, all the stuff is not even out. But you don't even have to acknowledge the camera to be working. The camera could be off in the corner and you're still working. Oftentimes, when you're in a flow of things, you forget the camera's on. I think a lot of people fail to understand that because they don't know what it's like for him. And no one wants to see the other side. No one wants to understand another person's shoes. They think because Kai has money, and I know this might be a big shocker to a lot of y'all think he has money and y'all made him inhuman. Y'all put him on his pedestal like he's a god. And yes, I'm talking about you. The same ones that complain when he's doing something human. He's doing something human, but he's getting flamed for it. But then if he was talking about his money, y'all be like, oh, see, here you go bragging. See, I don't got no cars and no houses. He's trying to show you the human parts of who he is, and they got clown for it. It makes no sense. All we try to do as creators is show how human we are in the content that we make. But then you get to a certain point where you get the money, and some people think you're not human no more. You're just a piece of entertainment. You're a speck for someone else's use. That's not the case. But that's what people have in their head. That's why anytime where some weird stuff be going on online and an actor's talking about it in an interview about how some weird people's coming up, or content creators is coming up, and weird people coming up in it, and then people in the comments out there be like, this is what you asked for. This is what you signed up for. I didn't sign up to have weird a-holes around me. I signed up to challenge myself. I signed up to do something that I actually like and put a lot of time and effort to it. That doesn't give people the green light to do weird things, but people do it anyway.
Not actually comprehending what it's saying. Something that could have made it better is if he showed some notes that he was writing down while reading the books to show that he was actually...
You'd have called that performative too. He putting down notes to show us. Oh, that's so performative. I hate streamers. And then they go, I hate streamers.
Retaining the information and keeping what the book's actually saying in his head. Unironically, middle school teachers got one up on that. They was right on that, because you do not retain shit after reading a book for the first time. But that timer thing was gonna cook him either way. He's got to put that one in the closet. Overall, it is good he's actually taking initiative to improve himself, though. And there's clips too where he doesn't understand a word, so he searches up what it means on camera. Where people are clowning him for not knowing a word's meaning, which I find so weird. People will always say try to improve yourself by reading books or going to the gym or learning whatever habit. And when you showcase yourself trying to improve yourself, they
it's
just
a problem.
In 2026, and can't even be curious about something without getting the sped allegations. Meanwhile, those same people are fat chuds on the internet that do nothing but comment on people's all day.
And they're literally the same people when Kai comes back to stream. All right. Oh my God, Kai. This is singing people when he's in Paris, when he's in Italy, when he's back in America. Yo, Kai, can I get a picture, bro? Yo, bro, I love the streams, bro. Yo, what's some advice you would give to small creators, man? Y'all be the same ones behind these Hello Kitty profile pictures, gang. Spreading all this hate. But then yo, Kai, can I get a stream university?
Kinda do need more people reading, at least in America, because the amount of people's reading comprehension has gone down is atrocious. I know this as a creator because I'll say something, a person won't even finish the video or just pause on that part, then go in the comment section writing a whole paragraph explaining why they hate me and how my take is wrong. Half the population reads at a 6th grade level here. We gotta start doing reading clubs again. I'm glad to be in the group of Gen Z kids that got out school right when AI was about to hit. Because if I was in school right now, I'll let y'all know, I would be a couple of octaves dumber than I already am. Then there's the fashion pivot. On that same channel, he's posting videos of him learning how to make clothes for his fashion brand, which doesn't have as much hate as the reading, but it's more of the way he presents it, I would say. His fashion brand is called Vivette, and one way he's advertising it is with his own journal. The journal having designs and sketches of what he wants in it. And the way he's talking about this journal and flexing it, you would think he's writing some new verses for the Bible. Even on the Vivette website, the only way you can see the journal is if you sign up and join the waitlist. So it's clear the journal is the main marketing tactic he has for his whole fashion brand, which isn't an uncommon thing. Every fashion designer has their own type of documentation of the process of making a product. Kanye is somebody who did this a lot and showed off his sketches. It's confusing on Kai's vision for it because in different videos he's saying so many things about what it's supposed to be, and he's changing the camera quality on the videos to make it look more like a documentary, which is now being called the performative quality. The funniest one has gotta be him recording himself writing in his journal on a 3DS, which got deleted.
I ain't gonna lie, Kai was confused by this. I can't even lie to you, gang. I was confused.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like a track, right? And everybody's on it. And
You know what's crazy? Even me saying that, people call that hate. I'm not hating. I was just genuinely was confused. But, you know, internet.
when you achieve a lot or you do good, you start to succeed. You start to exceed it. Like you start to keep going at a crazy. The way like I'm a little dark and shit. Like shit dark for me. But as soon as I hold this journal up, it's a lot like more.
I seen that video, which I know that means they edited the lights on it.
Focused on it.
That journal better have the cure to cancer the way he's showing it. Crazy thing is, even if the journal does have good designs and people want to buy it, the videos have cooked anything associated to it. People will just look back at the videos and...
Here's the thing. Like, people laughed at... you know, people laugh at anything, one, and two, people laugh at anything they think is crazy. They said the same thing to Mr. Beast. They probably said the same thing to Kai when he was doing Facebook skits. They probably said the same thing when Adrian was doing 2K. So what? Everybody's gonna laugh at something until it works. People gonna joke about it until it works. All the time. That's all that happens. You will joke about it until it works, and now you want a piece of it. They joked about Streaming University. Let's be real. They joked about Streaming University. And they saw it work in 72 hours. A 72-hour event. And, oh my God, Kai. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow.
Start dying laughing. There was absolutely zero need to record this video on a 3DS. I feel like even he looked back at this and said, alright, I'm doing too much. While people were memeing the whole thing, it also opened the floodgates of old clips showing Kai trying to fit in with certain things, where you can't put it any other way. He's just saying some to be performative for the camera.
Yo, if you could start me off with a song, what would it be?
Viva La Vida. Viva La Vida by Cosplay. These is kind of busted up, but headphones. You cannot use those. You cannot use those. Why you capping this? You cannot use those.
No. Yeah, he do. Look. These is the 16, 15 iPhones.
Thank you. These don't work. No, they just broke today. How it broke?
Kai, you can use AirPods. We know you're rich, dog. And before people get on my ass for wearing these wired headphones, look back the past 4 years. I've been wearing these in every single video the past 4 years, all right? I'm not faking. I'm not sure why he does it or if he...
Performative for... Oh my God. You watched the video before so you could do that. Bro, shut the hell up, gang. Like, it's always something to say. Like... Like, y'all can never just shut the hell up. It's always on.
Tries to do it subtly so people don't notice much. But in 2026, with all the forms of social media we got, people are gonna be able to tell when you're faking it. I do believe, though, that even with all these performative shenanigans, he actually got into fashion and likes it. You can tell his fashion game has changed a lot in the past couple of years. And I'm sure people will say that this whole thing is fake or a grift because it happened so soon. That can happen to anyone with anything, though. Sometimes you get into...
That's just changed. Like, I don't know why people think him getting the clothes all of a sudden. Even in his I Quit video. He even talked about it briefly, where he went to Japan and his whole idea of fashion changed. His whole idea of clothes changed. That's when it all started. It's a cause and effect. But for some reason, it's just like when you're a streamer, when you're known for one thing, that's all you can do. It's only with content, though. I've never seen a basketball player be in a movie and people be how they are with Kai about it. Like, I don't know, like
something and like it so much a lot in a short period of time, you want to start trying it yourself or going out into that industry. The way he's advertising it though is way too performative. There's clips of him walking around with the journal in Paris Fashion Week, and it looked like he was protecting an ancient scripture that had burned.
He's probably writing in the journal. Ain't no different than a diary. You come home after the day and you write it. His is fashion based, so he's probably writing, okay, this is how they do the runway. Okay, they got this type of article of clothes. This is how long it's done for. But even if not, like, why is that you see what I'm talking about? Everything's a headline. Why does it matter? If someone's carrying a book bag all the time, why does it matter? Is it your book bag, gang? Why is it hurting you so much that he has the book in his hand?
Now will vaporize half of humanity's information.
Wow.
Before I saw these clips, honestly, I didn't understand why people were saying the rebrand is performative. And as soon as I saw these clips, I understood why. Whoever told him on his team that this will look tough gotta be fired. Other fashion designers there were probably looking confused as hell. This isn't to say that
Let me ask you something. Do you think Kai's like, I'm over here? Or do you think people with cameras come up to him? The only time I feel like he goes up to people with cameras if it's a supporter or someone who's masking as a supporter. That's the only time I feel like he'll go. But he's not like, it is what it is, bro.
Kai's clothing brand is gonna come out and look trash or ugly, but it's more of the marketing tactic and how it was done. In fact,
it's working. Like, let's say it is a marketing tactic. It's working. You made a video about it. It's working. I'm reacting to it. It's working. He just posted a hate wall of people doubting him. It's working. And it made headlines. It's working. He's featured in a Scary Movie 6 trailer. And it made headlines. Not just Scary Movie 6, but him being in the trailer. That was the headline. Kai Cenat's featured in Scary Movie 6. Just imagine when he's doing the commercial for Vivette. He making a trailer. What's going to happen then? Headlines. He comes back to streaming. Headlines. And that's all. That's literally all proof. It's going to happen. Watch. And then it's also another thing. If every year Kai's had in streaming has been better than the last. If you go look. If you go look back at from 2021 and now, every year has been better than the last. In some type of way. This is just part of the journey. I don't know why people think that it's got to be this crazy, like, he had to plan it out. Well, you know how consistent he was last year? He went from, I won't say daily streaming, but streaming a lot of the week to AMP Summer. No. BET Awards, Grammys, AMP Summer. No. Let me go back again. Desktops. What happened in... You get the gist. Oh, Vibes Cartel, Streaming University, AMP Summer, Mafia Thon 3. There's a lot more in there I'm blanking on, but
I think a lot of the people hating saying the clothes are gonna look ass would start wearing it if all of a sudden people actually like it and start wearing it out. One thing Kai's gonna mainly struggle with in the fashion industry is trying to have this new persona while his old clips still being mega viral and out there. Which is why I said at the start.
How so? You can say the same thing about Speed. So what's different? Speed's old clips are still there. I mean, you said it in the beginning, Tommy. Speed used to be the guy that cursed a lot, that was saying a whole lot of crazy stuff to women. What? They're still out there. So what's the difference between Kai and Speed? I'm telling you, and I know if this video ever gets like a light shined on it, I'm gonna get dumb hate. But this is the truth right here, and this is not a means to divide nobody. This is just an observation that I genuinely think is true. I think I said this before as well in a different video. The reason why people are more critical of Kai, it has always been, it's just worse. The worst it's ever been now versus Speed is that Kai always made it his mission or his bread and butter to do things in his room, do things with friends and family, so that made it him more relatable versus Speed, who his bread and butter was IRL. So people got to see different countries they've most likely never been able to go to through Speed. So when Kai's got a horse in his crib, he's having, in the past, 20v1s in the crib, parties in the crib, pool parties. He got mariachi bands at 8 a.m. He cooking hibachi, got rock bands in the crib. And he doing this all from the comfort of his own room. People gonna say it's not true, but go look at it, bro. Go look at it.
But it's better when a transformation naturally happens on its own and isn't a hard pivot, because not only is he gonna get low broed by the fashion elites there and they'll just see him as the streamer guy, also it's
the same thing that happened in streaming. Like, I think people are looking at this like it's a whole new thing. I don't understand, like, the fashion world entirely, but some things do not change. I've seen Kai was talk about it in the conversation with Luca video, right? He was talking about how it felt difficult to figure out, like, his foundation of what to start out with. But it's the same thing he did with streaming. When he first started streaming, what was he doing? He was doing desktops. He was doing desktop and gaming, right? And even before that, what was he doing? He was doing YouTube. He was doing pranks, Ding Dong Ditch, vlogs. That was his bread and butter, and he just kept doing that. That was his foundation for each platform he was on. So he got to a point to where he could flourish doing a lot of things. That's when the 24 hours started happening. The gaming marathons, the mafia-thons, the stream university. Like, you have to, the foundation is the little things that people know of. That's probably why I'm not nowhere today, because I do so much different stuff. I react 1 minute, I'm on TikTok doing making a commercial. I'm just making random video. That's why people gravitate and then leave my video, because I'm so sporadic. I don't know what my bread and butter is, but that's why. It's not different. It's not that different. The foundation is not that different. He's got to show people what he's made of, and they'll watch. Simple as that. It's the same thing with streaming, bro. He showed people what he was made of, and he got to the place he is now.
clips on what type of streamer
he put the work in,
doing a bunch of goofy stuff for stream. It's way easier for you to be a small content creator and have collabs with the bigger content creators, because content creators are usually more genuine, which can lead to you blowing up and having your own career. The fashion industry is just like the music industry. It's cutthroat. They'll tell you if your shit is ass, or a company will deny making the clothes because they don't think it will sell well. And people memeing this whole thing is definitely not helping potential fashion collaborators take it more serious. The whole jump into it was very fast though. It was only 3.5 months he was gone before doing this whole change. I feel like minimum you need a year for something like this. I guess for now we're gonna have to wait and see how it goes. I don't know if he's gonna completely quit streaming, but if I was his friend giving advice, I say hell no. No matter what is a content creator, quit streaming, but if I was his friend giving advice, I say hell no. No matter what is a content creator, unless you're gonna retire after like 10 or 15 years, you gotta serve the people that built you up to what you are, or maybe that's only me. So y'all will have me for another painstaking 10 years at minimum. Enjoy. Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like, actually, let me see some of these comments. This is from a month ago, by the way. I just want to preface. Beginning of the year. This is an educational video on Cenat got in society. Rebrand that cut, bro. Speed didn't rebrand. He just became a man. He was a kid when he first started content creation. So once again, change. People are not hating on Kai because he's trying to do good improve. So I think people hate on because it comes performative rather than genuine. I mean, when you get hate on for eating grapes and they talking about ooh sour. I'm not sure what people expect from Kai. He's been performing as a character his whole career. As a YouTube/streamer, the loud, obnoxious, and immature was his identity for a while, and it seems like he's trying to find a new identity to cling towards. So he's imitating Kanye and other people he idolized. I think people do what they usually do. This performative word, they found out about a word and use it for everything. There's no need for this. As far as the whole performance as a character, it's like I think people are thinking, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think people think that he's gonna come back and be the most serious person in the world. Like, what's up, Chad? You know, I've been gone for a while. Like, I don't think people think he's not gonna make jokes or have a sense of humor. I don't know, bro. I really hope Cenat doesn't quit the secret channel or drop the fashion because the internet's making fun of him. Even if this is performative, he might encourage his audience to improve and motivate. He might encourage his audience to improve and motivate his audience to better themselves than read more books.